Still to come is Mahler's Das Lied von der Erde. Often described as a song symphony, it's an emotional roller coaster into Mahler's feelings on love, loss, life and death. But before that, we've got the London premiere of Colin Matthews' Berceuse for Dresden, with German cellist Leonard Elschenbroich. In February 1945, Allied forces' bombing of Dresden destroyed its Baroque jewel, the Frauenkirche. In the aftermath, the church was left in ruins as a stark war memorial. But following the reunification of Germany in 1990, it was rebuilt and finally reconsecrated just over 10 years ago. To mark the event, the Friends of Dresden Music Foundation commissioned British composer Colin Matthews to write an orchestral piece. The result, Berceuse for Dresden, for cello and orchestra, is a lamenting lullaby that weaves the sounds of the Frauenkirche bells into an atmospheric wash of orchestral colours. The creative process and the story behind this work reflects the theme of reconciliation, as Colin Matthews himself now explains.
I wrote the piece for the rebuilding of the Frauenkirche, and the concept was to have a German cellist, a British composer and an American orchestra in the New York Philharmonic as a sort of gesture of reconciliation.
As night falls, bombers of the British Royal Air Force and darkness at Dresden, the capital of Saxony, becomes a fantasy of the destructive pyrotechnics of the air war.
The first performance was one of the most moving experiences of my life, to see in particular what it meant to the people of Dresden to see this symbol, which had been a ruin for so long, rebuilt. And the gesture of reconciliation between the three nationalities was something very special. Berceuse is you might call it a cradle song. And I deliberately chose that title and that form because I wanted it to be lyrical, for the soloist to almost sing with the orchestra. I absolutely resisted the idea of writing anything that was fierce. I wanted the feeling of reconciliation to be part of the piece. So although it builds to a big swelling climax, the cello writing is never virtuosic. It sings along with the orchestra. I wanted to use the bells of the Frauenkirche because they seem to be such a symbol of the church, and they're remarkable. Of course, they've all been recast. The originals were all completely destroyed. And I used their pitches, there are 8 of them, to underlie the whole structure of the piece. And then halfway through, the bells themselves come in and gradually build up to a huge peal which almost overwhelms the orchestra. I haven't yet heard it in the Albert Hall itself, but the bells have been rearranged so that they are on separate tracks and will be on speakers from the gallery, where I hope they will have the sort of sound as if they were from a cathedral. I think that the Albert Hall is the ideal place for it.
Soloist cellist Leonard Elschenbroich, the conductor Sir Mark Elder. The Halle performing the London premiere of Colin Matthews' Berceuse for Dresden.